So I don't think what I see here is that Kathy said it, but she said it thinking that it would never leave the room, and Fee's playing dirty. I'm not gonna lie, I don't appreciate Fee snitching like this. I really think she's doing what she needs to do to get the job done, but to call out Kathy's character, that it was character assassination. You feel what I'm saying? And it goes beyond just her role as a commissioner in this professional setting between a player and a boss, or the league and the play. Like, I just think that was like the lowest of blows that she could have done, and they're really trying to get their way, and I don't like the path that they're taking, whether Kathy's a liar or not. You know what I mean? That job is a hard job, and she has to go up there and say the most politically correct thing, because damn if she do, damn if she won't. So I think it was too much. I'm not burdening Kathy by any means, y'all. I'm just saying it was tough to watch her get thrown under the bus like that.
But oh my gosh, so Collier, she completely ethered Kathy Engelbert. I mean, you guys saw it. It was like a 4-minute long video. If we want, we can actually play that in the meantime. Do you guys just want to play that?
Yeah, she brought in her paper.
She sure did.
I thought you took notes from her interview.
and I feel like low key she was kind of. I feel like it was a slight dig to Kathy, possibly, because Kathy came with her paper too, and like I don't know how to explain it. I could be reading too much into it, but I felt like it was a little performative what Fee was doing. Like, she took it straight to hell. Actually, she went to the what's beneath hell. That's where Fee went. She went beneath hell.
I mean, we can look in the meantime while we're waiting for Angela to come back. What we can do? Oh, she is back, but maybe we can just. Do you guys want to run through that video, the Napheesa Collier video? I have it, or we can just jump straight into Kathy's reply, because Collier completely ethered her ass. I mean, I think she looks like the Angelica doll. Do you guys remember her? She was like all electrocuted with the hair sticking out. Do you guys remember Rugrats?
Yeah.
To me, Kathy Engelbert resembles Angelica.
Wow.
Alrighty, we have Angela, so we can go ahead. So as you know, Angela, we've all heard Collier's comments. Basically, and just to summarize, she criticized her for her leadership, right? She called out the officiating. She called out the leadership. She called out Kathy Engelbert directly, saying that she never heard from her when she was injured, not even a peep. She said the only players that complain about the officiating are the losers. And she also said that apparently Kathy Engelbert said that Caitlin Clark would be nothing without the WNBA. So Kathy, she responds. Just this afternoon, she had a press conference right before the Game 1 finals. And so here's her reply. I have it right here, and we're all going to react together. And I'm so excited to hear what you guys have to say about this. It's short, but we'll get right to it.
The Annie Costabile Front Office Sports, you've continued to express that you are disheartened by the characterization of your conversation with Napheesa Collier. Just again, seeking clarity. Did you in fact say that Caitlin Clark should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything? And do you actually feel that way, that without this platform, players like Caitlin Clark wouldn't be making what they do off the court?
Yeah, obviously I did not make those comments. Caitlin has been a transformational player in this league. She's been a great representative of the game. She's brought in tens of millions of new fans to the game, proud of what she's put on the court. Unfortunately, the injuries held her back from a full season this year. But again, I'm not going to get into every point, counterpoint. It's not productive here. We're here to celebrate the WNBA finals. I think what Indiana just did was amazing with all the injuries they had and the everything they faced this year, bringing that to a Game 5 in overtime. But yeah, as I said, there's a lot of inaccuracies reported out there, and I certainly did not say.
She certainly didn't say that. I think that Kathy Engelbert is a liar. But what do you guys think?
I think she's completely lying. And honestly, I think it just would have been better if she said, hey, the conversation did come up about the potential that the players could make. Because she could have easily just said she's making more than she would be making if she were not in the W, right? She didn't have to say an amount, because for Fee to say 16, like, that's such a specific amount. You know, when people lie, in my opinion, they're pretty vague, right? And so if Fee was gonna, let's say, lie, she might have just said just the statement in general and not said a specific amount. I feel like her saying that specific amount is because Kathy said 16 million, and I think when I was watching it on YouTube, all of the comments, 100% of the comments were like, Kathy's a liar. I don't think anyone's believing her in this scenario. I think maybe she's trying to save face for Caitlyn specifically, maybe. I don't know, but I just can't see Fee lying. Obviously, we don't know her personally, but just from the response from the league players and their respect for Fee, is letting us know that the type of person she is not the type of person that's just going to completely just make something up and fabricate it. So I think Kathy's just lying. I guess there's a catch-22, because who is going to just stand there and say, yes, I said that? But she could have PR'd her way around, yes, we had a conversation talking about, player potential, blah, 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 blah. And, hey, when Caitlyn came in, sure, she was making a lot of money, but it tripled with her being in the W. She could have responded better rather than just, in my opinion, blatantly lying, because that's what it looks like to me.
Well,
I'm
to
with
me,
you.
it's Caitlin Clark. So I feel like from what I saw, I missed the ending part of it because I was turned on to get ready to watch the game and everything. But for me, watching her in the beginning, I feel like she kind of danced around a lot of questions. Like, she didn't give any specific answers one way or the other. It's like, oh, well, this, or, well, the players and we're working together and, like all these different things. I'm like, girl, just answer the damn question. Like, you keep going around in circles and you're getting on my nerves. But when it came to Caitlyn, she was like, I did not say that. Like, let me put that out there, let you guys know. When it comes to Caitlyn, I did not make those comments, because obviously Caitlyn has that huge fan base. She don't want that kind of smoke because they will get her fired if Napheesa Collier doesn't. So she went out there and made sure that she cleared that up as much as possible. But for me, and I got to give this a little bit of grace, whenever there's a conversation had, there's always, like 3 sides to a story, right? There's your side, there's my side, and then somewhere, in the middle is actual truth. So there are parts of the conversation that could have been taken out of context, maybe, from, what Kathy said, how Napheesa heard it, but some things are too specific. I'm like, okay, like that's a very specific thing to say when you bring up numbers and things like that, I do wish that, hope that I would have liked that Napheesa didn't bring up the fact that she didn't call her, when she got injured, because it could be taken like kind of being disgruntled. Like, well, everybody else reached out to me, and I didn't hear from her. I understand maybe she felt some kind of way and maybe she felt as a commissioner, she should have reached out to me. But, when you put that in there right after you got hurt, right after your coach got, suspended, for the game that you guys ended up losing after what happened last season, if you're on the opposite side of it, you're like, okay, this is the timing of it, but overall, I do feel like Kathy was trying to save face, because I'm like, you cleared everything up. You didn't clear anything else up, but you tried to make sure you cleared that Caitlin Clark thing up, because what would happen if you didn't. I found it interesting.
Yeah, because like I find that interesting too. I got to thinking to myself, where could Fee have heard this, right? Then I started thinking, well, she is a part of the WNBPA, the Women's National Basketball Players Association. She's an active union member, and she's also the owner of Unrivaled. So it wouldn't surprise me if she was a part of those negotiation conversations that Kathy spoke to in the press conference. Similar to Kaja, I missed the end, but I did see the beginning when Malika asked the first question about the comments that Fee had made regarding players got to get on their knees and be grateful. Kathy, like Kaja said, did not address a yes or no to that, and she cleared up the Caitlyn. What I'm thinking, if Fee is privy to Kathy saying this, whether she said it or not, Fee is privy to it, then it leads me to believe that this might have been something that she said while they were negotiating, and things probably got heated because, they're still in a deadlock in regards to the CBA negotiations, and we are almost to that deadline of October 31st. So I don't think what I see here is that Kathy said it, but she said it thinking that it would never leave the room, and Fee's playing dirty. I'm not gonna lie, I don't appreciate Fee snitching like this. I really think she's doing what she needs to do to get the job done, but to call out Kathy's character, that it was character assassination. You feel what I'm saying? And it goes beyond just her role as a commissioner in this professional setting between a player and a boss, or the league and the play. Like, I just think that was like the lowest of blows that she could have done. And they're really trying to get their way. And I don't like the path that they're taking, whether Kathy's a liar or not. You know what I mean? That job is a hard job, and she has to go up there and say the most politically correct thing, because damn if she do, damn if she don't. So I think it was tough to watch. I'm not pardoning Kathy by any means, y'all. I'm just saying it was tough to watch her get thrown under the bus like that.
I'm wondering if all these months of trying to negotiate Fee and some of the others, NECA and, you know, the ones that have backed her, have just felt like there is no other way other than throwing her under the bus at this point, because we're not getting anywhere. So I agree with you. You know, when I think about it in my corporate job, would I ever do something like that? Probably not. But it's like, okay, now we've gotten to the point where we literally have no other choice other than to bring others into this, because we're at a deadlock. Like, we're not going to have a WNBA season next year because of these negotiations. So I don't know. I'm sure Fee talked with her husband and probably some legal advisors. And I don't, even though it seemed very, you know, maybe petty and I don't know what the other word is, but, you know, I think it was probably more well thought out than how it has come across.
I get what you're saying. For me, I think she should have cleared it. No, when it comes to your character, and you have Napheesa being the one who did it, because Napheesa it couldn't have been Asia Wilson. It couldn't have been an Angel Reese, right? Because there would have been it would not have been taken seriously. They'd have been like, oh, she has a special whistle and she's just one of the black angry, you know, so on and so forth, right? So Napheesa, with her sweet looking face, and she seems so nice and positive and lovely. You know, she's a mom and she plays hard. It's like, for her to come out of all people and call Kathy out, it's like, oh man, you know, like Napheesa don't really say much at all. You know, she shows up, she plays, and that's about it. She goes home, you know, and she's with her family. So I understand why it had to be her. I do get what you're saying, Angela. I think it could have been strategic, you know, more than the way it came across. You know, I'm pretty sure it might have been the conversation between her and NECA, you know, before she came forth and said this. But I'm glad that she did say something. And for me, if I'm Kathy, don't play with my name, my character, my integrity, okay? You put me out there on Front Street. You assassinated her character. Like, no matter what happens going forward, people are going to believe that maybe she did say it or that she didn't say it, you know?
Yes.
Like, I'm like, no. For you to clear up the Caitlin Clark part, but not when she asked you about everything else, stand up for yourself. I did not say that. That's a lie. Like, you spoke up for Caitlin's part, but what about yourself? Like, speak up, girl. Like, stand up straight. What we doing here?
I'm with all of you ladies. I think that these are all really great takes on this topic. I want to address this comment on the screen. Fee is a sore loser. She said nothing when they were winning. So I want to address this because I think that several things can be true out of this whole scenario. I think that everything that Napheesa Collier said was correct. I think that Kathy Engelbert is a terrible commissioner. And I think what people look for in just modern day times are strong people leaders. We're seeing a shift in the NBA where that kind of punch you in the face in the locker room, you know, is not necessarily the way to lead or the way to lead by example. So people today, whether it's just like modern day work, every day at work, we're looking for strong leaders that are good to people, that care about the, you know, the human side of things, and you know, or have some level of compassion and understanding. So I just think it's interesting that she made the comments that she said about Kathy. I think that they were all right and true, but I also think that it's easily be viewed as, hey, she's a little bit of a sore loser. Would she have made the comments if she was in the finals? If she was headed to the finals, would she have been focused on making those comments?
Right.
I don't
think
so.
Question.
So I think everything she said was true, but I don't, it's just like that saying, right message, but wrong messenger. We needed to hear someone in the final say this, somebody that was actually could be conscious enough to, you know, take on Kathy while competing in the finals. But then if they, it's all a double-edged sword, because if they say it, then they're trying to steer the whistle, you know? So it's just like, you're you're put in this corner of silence, right? So the whole Fee is snitching. She was out of competition. So I think that she was in a good position to say something, but the timing of her losing, her injury, the fact that, they were screaming. I mean, Cheryl Reeves' behavior, I can't stress that enough. I was disgusted by her behavior. Quite frankly, she deserved the suspension. She did not, that was not a foul. Okay. In my opinion, that was absolutely not a foul. And I thought that was a great call by the officials. And, so that it's that snapshot that we have of them being so angry about that foul that wasn't a foul, that's a phantom foul, but they're getting so angry about that she got suspended for. Then fast forward to now this statement, this long, and Brianna, I'm going to use your words, performative, because some of it was performative. When you write something down, right? And I do think she could have very well added in the 16 million that Caitlyn earns, right? She could be putting a dollar amount on it just to sort of add some color to Kathy's comments. I believe she said these things, but I also believe that Collier could have added color. I also believe that some of this is performative. You lost, you're out of the finals, you're bitter because yet again you lost. You came up short and you want to blame and you want to point the finger. You want to say it was because of your injury and then your injury was because of the officiating. You lost the ball. That was a clean steal. AT stole the ball. It wasn't a foul and she got stripped. She lost the ball. She was pissed and they wanted to make it a foul. And now we're dealing with Collier's comments that they're all true, but it doesn't look good coming from the loser. So Kathy is right that the losers complain about the officiating. When you're winning and you're the beneficiary of the officiating, it's fine.
So I actually made a whole video because I don't always watch the post-game pressers, like almost never really. And I said, does Cheryl complain about the referees when they're terrible, but in a game that they won? Because that happens. They could be bad for both teams. I was courtside at Atlanta all season long. I've been at games where they were just bad on both ends, but maybe you were the victor. I would like for those coaches to still speak up in that moment, because then it gives more validity to the fact that the refs need to be better, as opposed to only you complain when you lose. So I get where, and if she did actually say that, she's probably, statistically right, because you're not thinking about it so much if you at least won the game. So some people, and again, some people were like, yeah, Cheryl's complained before, but I'm like, in the press conference when they won and the refs were bad, show me that clip, because that's going to add to it, as opposed to only when, again, like you were just on the better half of the bad reffing, but you won the game. So, and that's not just about that one foul, just all season long. Right. I don't know that I've seen that happen, so.
I mean, well, even I get what you're saying, though, because I mean, when you're on the right side of it and you end up winning the game, like you're not going to be as, I guess, pressed to speak up about the bad officiating. But the fact of the matter is that it's been a constant conversation throughout the whole entire season. For multiple players, multiple coaches, like multiple fans talking about the thug ball and officiating and the hard fouls that are not called and things of that nature. And before, I think it was a few months ago, she was like, yes, we're aware about the officiating, we're working on it, something like that. She said, I'm paraphrasing, but what did you work on? Because nothing changed, and if you have, people complained about it, your job is to make a change, somewhat. They still have a job to do, you know what I mean? So do your job. If you have unhappy players, unhappy fans, unhappy coaches, like, I don't want to hear, well, the losers, don't come, don't the winners, are fine, the losers complain. Like, if they're still complaining about it, do something about it. Do your job, fix it.
Right. Yeah, because tonight during the press conference, she said they review every call and non-call of every game. And I'm like, so we have a performance improvement plan? Because when was it getting better? If they're actually reviewing every call and non-call for every single game with the referees, I'm assuming she means, where was the progress over the season where it got better, where it noticeably got better? I don't see that it did. It was a toss-up at every game I was at. I'm like, we'll see how it goes. It's just like you rolling the dice every single game,
I'm trying to remember what Kathy described, what she called the game now. It starts with an M, but she was pretty much saying like it's way more physical now of a game. Like she said, it changed it's the most physical it's ever been or something like that. So she's like, every year we have reforms, and now they're adding this new committee to the equation of reviewing stuff like that. So like I was happy to hear that, because I don't know about y'all, but when I think about how these two sides can reach a resolution, because it just seems like it's so damaged, and I'm like trying to see where are they gonna meet in the middle with this. Like, where is it all gonna land?
Not looking good.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want them to go into a lockout. I really don't. The W has gained too much momentum thus far. I think that's the worst thing that could happen for them. And all the attention they're getting has been super negative.
I really think that what stands out the most to me about what Napheesa Collier says is that the WNBA has the best players in the world, the best fans in the world, but yet they have the worst leadership in the world.
Right.
And so when I think about when I just think about that comment and what she's saying and how important it is, it's just kind of like, wow, you know, this leadership that they have, when you think about the talent that's in the league, you have Napheesa Collier, Asia Wilson, they're doing things that we just never have seen before, a lot of these players. And I think that the WNBA this is some of the best basketball that we're going to see for a long time, because we're not getting this level of action, this level of physical play, this level of just coaching at every single moment in the NBA. We don't get that there. So everything matters in the WNBA, every play, every movement. And so when you take a look at that, the players, right, and the talent that they have, the league, the officiating, and the commissioner, quite frankly, just haven't caught up to the level of talent. The WNBA does not have a commissioner. The officiating, all of these two areas of the league, I call it the operations. So, it's just like in a company, like the front facing people, the sales, the pretty people, they get to be the face of the brand, and they always have to look show ready, right? They're the dog and pony show. They always have to look show ready. Whereas the people in operations, they're kind of like dressed down and dirty, right? And they're doing everything in the background, and they're the backbone of the company, right? But if they're doing a bad job, then the face of the brand is not going to look good. And so that is basically what's happening in the WNBA. They don't have operations that are leading to the success, and the players are not feeling appreciated. They think that it's appropriate to not pay them because they've made poor business decisions. And when you're running a business, that's just not how it works. You have to pay like you weigh, and you have to continue to eat losses if you want to continue to be in business.
Yeah.
That is what it is. But I do think that we could potentially see a lockout. These players are standing more on business. We see them taking a stand. But the fact is they just don't have a commissioner or a league officiating system that's caught up to the talent level of these players.
For sure. I mean, they definitely need to be full time.
Yeah.
And not doing, 3 or 4 other leagues with different rules. And I mean, I'm not going to be super invested in a part-time job. Let's be honest. Who is?
Yes, you see their pay? Average ref pay.
What is their pay?
I Googled it like a while ago, like a month or so ago. The average referee pay is like, the highest paid is like 80 grand and the lowest is 16 grand. So that's on average probably like 25 to 30 grand. I'm gonna give or take. That's their pay.
Don't do the job.
That's true too.
If you don't like the pay, then don't do it.
If you don't like the pay, don't do it. But at the same time, they're getting what they're paying for. I'm kind of curious why they're not spending more money. They just improved the travel. They just poured $25 million into their travel so the teams can charter more jets, things like that. They can bypass like the normal commercial flights they're used to. That was $25 million. If the company is doubled in value from 1.6 billion to 3 point something billion, I can understand the women are like, wait a minute. Well, so I'm curious why they haven't poured more money into the refs, or at least hiring higher caliber refs.
Yeah, because if they up the pay and everybody has to kind of reapply type of situation, and then they go back and look at the statistics from this season and say, hey, you had 33 calls overturned or whatever, the percentages, you don't make the cut to get this 150K or whatever they want to up it to, because people are going to perform better each year knowing, well, hey, this pay is going to continue to go up, but then so is our caliber of people. You know, you're not going to be able to just be mediocre or okay as a referee in the WNBA based on what we're paying. So I think it would weed out some of those people possibly that are making the mistakes. I know from, again, being at 25 plus games this season, when I saw certain refs, I was like, yeah, this is not going to be good, because I already knew, you know, this ref is not going to call anything in the paint, or this ref is going to miss all of the out of bounds. They're going to miss everything, because I was right next to the cameraman and I would see it go right off of a player's knee, and they were kind of looking at like they didn't see it, so they're going to do this, you know. But if you're paying more, I mean, sometimes that changes people's performance. Sometimes it doesn't, because, you know, I've managed people for a long time, and sometimes you think they would perform better because the pay is better. And some people are just not good at their jobs. But,
preach.
You know, every time I made a higher pay and then people below me, I was like, oh yeah, these people are going to be so invested because they're making more. And I'm like, oh no, lazy people are at every level. So
Absolutely.
I mean, there's that.
There's always one.
There's that too. But I think, you know, with the pay being more, you're going to have more people applying that may be more qualified, that haven't even applied because they didn't feel like it was worth their time.
I can get with that. I mean, I can get with investing in a higher caliber, you know, ref, or, you know, somebody to call the game. But, you know, if they're not going to do that and you're going to sign up for, you know, 80,000, 60,000, whatever it is, then do your job properly, or just don't do it.
I agree.
I'm with you, ladies. So how about we take a phone call on this topic? Are you guys down for a phone call or two?
Sure.
Yeah.
Are we ready to call it tonight? All righty. So
chat, call in. We want to hear your thoughts.
All righty, guys. Did Kathy, did she lie about her Caitlin Clark comments? Call the show. Talk to us nice.
Extra nice, okay? This is all lady
Right?
panel.
I mean,
we're all treatment.
Are we pretty much all in agreement that this could potentially lead to a lockout?
You know, yes, and
I think so.
my season ticket, I think it renews in October, and I've thought to myself, what happens if there's a lockout? Because this is an expensive ticket. Like, what is the protocol? You know, because they take that money out if you don't cancel. And I'm like, what if there's a delay in season or less games or just an issue? And then they say, well, hey, you paid for it, whether we have 20 games or 30, you paid this price.
Right. You ready? We have our caller.
Yeah.
All righty. Thank you so much for calling Man Down Sports WNBA panel. Talk to us nice.
Hi, this is Michelle. Hi, Don. How you doing?
Hi, Michelle. I'm so good. How are you tonight? Happy Friday.
I'm pretty good. Nice to see an all-ladies panel. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
You know, what do you think about Kathy Engelbert's comments? And, you know, is she lying about what Napheesa Collier said about what she said about Caitlin Clark?
I think she was lying about everything. She, you know, wouldn't answer questions. She was dancing around everything. And I just think that she's a liar. That's why I don't feel sorry for her that she took shots at her, because she's not negotiating in good faith. And you can't keep playing fair with someone who's not going to play by the rules. So I think that's why it happened. I also think that there's a concerted effort between the coaches and the players, because the coaches are going to be negotiating for new contracts and everything soon as well. So they're coming at them together. So I think a lot of the things that have happened lately have been performative, yes, but all to get what they feel that they deserve and what I think they deserve. So I was a little surprised when you guys were all like, oh, you know, it was performative and, you know, kind of looked upon what they did negatively. Because I'm like, if you're not going to play fair, neither am I. That's just my opinion.
Oh, and I think that there's so many different moving parts. And I think your take is really amazing, because there's a lot of different layers to this. There's so many things going on behind the scenes. Do you think that Napheesa Collier revealed every ugly thing that Kathy Engelbert has ever said? I'm sure she didn't. right? And so I'm sure there's so much more to reveal, but she was very calculated, I think, in what she said, and she was strategic. So what do you ladies think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but like I said, I hate a liar, and I hate somebody in power who lies.
Well, I'm curious, Kaja, like, what do you think about what Michelle is saying? Do you think Kathy lied about everything too?
I can barely hear you. What did you say, Don?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I was asking Kaja and the rest
Yeah.
of the panel to
Mhm.
respond
Oh,
to you.
sorry, I didn't hear that. I'm so sorry.
No, for me, I already said that there was obviously some things that she lied about. The fact that she was able to clear up or at least speak up for herself when it came to Caitlin Clark versus everything else she kind of tapped around, I found to be really, really interesting. But at the same time, I'm not mad that Napheesa called her out because I do agree with what you said. Like, if you're not playing, fair, then why should I? And I do believe that there have been conversations that were had several times over. Maybe this is why like the boiling point now, like, okay, like you're not hearing me and our deadline is approaching and we want this deal to be done our way. We're standing on business. So I'm going to make it public now and kind of force your hand, because you're not hearing us privately. So I'm going to address you publicly. But I do feel like, and I said, I have to stand on this. I do have to give grace because there's always three sides to a story. I don't know exactly what was said, the question that was asked, and how Kathy responded because Fee said what she said, but things can be taken out of context all the time. So I'm going to give Kathy a little bit of grace for that. But like I said, I'm not mad at what Fee did. You got to speak up for yourself and you got to advocate for yourself for what you deserve, as you should.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Also, that Kathy.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I definitely agree that Kathy lied for the most part, but like you said, there is always two, maybe three sides to the story. But I think that again, I think this was a last resort. I don't think that she wanted necessarily to do it, but I think it was a last resort. But like you had said, the timing, the fact that she just lost, the fact that Cheryl just acted a complete fool in the game, like all of those things don't help it being the time and right before the finals. Like the timing, I mean, granted, her exit interview is going to be when it is, but she could have just did her own separate press conference after the finals.
The deadline is October
Michelle,
31st, though, right?
Say again.
I was saying, Bree, you said
Yes.
so yeah, I mean,
And the
we're
deadline is
October.
coming up.
Yeah. So I think
They
it's probably
could
Washington
extend it
now.
though. They could extend it. I don't know the
Mhm.
rules or the extent of extending, but yes, October 31st is not a hard deadline. It's a soft deadline.
Do you ladies think it would have
Michelle's-
been better received if NECA had said it versus Napheesa?
I think so, just because I think she has less, there was a less controversial situation that she was coming out of. She was eliminated. So
Right.
she literally had nothing. She was eliminated in the first round.
Yeah.
So she had nothing. She would have just had no real skin in the game. There was nothing controversial that happened in her series, in my opinion, that, anybody could be looking at her like, oh my gosh, she's a sore loser, or, how convenient. So I think that, again, Napheesa Collier would not have made these comments if Michelle, can you do me a favor and just mute your background? Because I think your YouTube in the background is echoing.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Oh, no worries. But yeah, I just think that it's very convenient. And I think we did need a more impartial voice to deliver this message, although everything she said was very true. And I do think that you've got to fight in the ways that you can. So if Napheesa Collier, the only way to get Kathy Engelbert's attention was to do something public in this fashion, embarrass her this way, and really put her in the hot seat, I mean, what's she going to do? She's kick Napheesa Collier out of the league? No, I mean, she could probably continue to make it really difficult when they play. Make sure that they continue to lose is going to happen. And so really interesting stuff here. But Michelle, did you want to have any final closing thoughts?
I don't know. I just think that Fee, I think it was a concerted effort for Fee to do it because she has the least to lose. She already has money. She's making money from Unrivaled. She doesn't, have that much to lose if they, throw her out the league or whatever. And I think that's why she did it as opposed to everybody else. That was the only other thing I wanted to say. But thank you for having me, ladies. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Michelle. We look forward to hearing from you next week.
See you,
All right.
Michelle.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
All righty. Do you guys have time for one more phone call? I think there was someone with an 804 area code trying to get through.
They were trying to get
So,
through.
Would love to
Call
hear
back.
from them.
Virginia.
Right?
That's where I'm from.
Okay,
Call
DMV.
Call in, talk to us nice.
Oh, and while we're waiting for them to dial in, I do want. Something was on my mind. Oh my gosh. Oh man.
I hate
What was
when
that
that happens.
about? Oh, NECA. That was such a good question, Kaija, because I think it would have been better if NECA said it because she's the president
Yeah.
of the union. Like, girl, she should have said it. President addressing president. Like,
Yeah, it would have made sense.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just said, yeah, it would have made sense. And like you said, she didn't have a series where it was a controversial ending or any of that. So
yeah.
it just would have came
I
across
don't
better.
mean to interrupt, but we do have our next caller.
Yeah.
You guys
Oh.
ready?
Yes.
Thank you for calling sports. I'm sorry. Thank you for calling Man Down Sports WNBA panel. Talk to us
Hello?
nice. Hi. Talk to us nice. Thanks
Yes.
for calling the panel. Hello.
Yeah, my name is James, and I think she lied. I mean, she lied. She really, really lied. She covered up. I think she covered up because she got caught in a lie by the big bosses herself, and she's trying to save her job for, her own career.
Is her career really in jeopardy? I mean, what do you ladies think? Do you think the caller has a point that Kathy was trying to save her career because?
And plus, Caitlin, she could lose. I think, well, from what I heard, she could lose at least $50 to $100 million if Caitlin leaves the league.
Well, Caitlin's not going to leave.
No,
So,
she's not going to leave.
yeah,
But-
Caitlin's not going anywhere. But having Caitlin's fans against Kathy definitely would be detrimental to her having a smooth.
And she can't afford that, and the league can't afford that.
That's why she cleared that up. Well, tried to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be a smart move for the league to fire Kathy because, like, I just don't think that would be good. I don't think the NBA owners who are really calling the show, in my opinion, I don't think they want to get rid of Kathy because she's genuinely not the head. If you get rid of her and you put somebody else in and nothing changes, then it's going to expose the NBA and the owners. It's not going to fix, and everything's not going to magically get fixed because Kathy's gone. Like, I think no offense, Kathy, we're giving that woman way too much credit here for the power that she has.
I agree.
So you cut her off. You cut the head off the snake, you're going to see the snake is still moving because Shorty is not the head.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what it is, I think Caitlin bringing other players money, and like her and Paige Beckers and you name it, whoever coming into the league, Juju Watkins, the Nike deals and all those, they bring money into the league. And she's scared. She says she'll lose all that. The league will lose all that by her comments.
Perhaps. I mean, I don't think so. I think that commissioners in every league and every sport that we've seen have done worse things than Kathy Engelbert. So I doubt she's going to get fired. She's going to be in the hot seat for a long time, just like we've seen other commissioners in whether it was MLB, NFL. We've seen things like this before. And I think she's going to get called out until she makes a change. But I don't think she's going to get fired just off of the sheer business decisions that she's made to help move the league forward. So I don't think Adam Silver cares enough about the WNBA or, the NBA doesn't care enough about the WNBA and its leadership to make some sprawling change.
I agree. Yeah.
I think she can be. Depending on what happens with this new agreement, if there is a lockout, that does happen, combined with everything else that the players are saying, because Sophie Cunningham spoke out, Fee spoke out. I think it's possible, depending on how that goes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your call tonight. We really appreciate it. Certainly tune in next week and call in again.
In my opinion, I think she needs a face. I think she needs a face-to-face with Caitlin Clark.
A face-to-face with Caitlin Clark. I mean, I'm sure we'd all love to see it. We're waiting.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for calling in. Have a wonderful night.
Take care, man.
Good night.